Just obviously to get, we were at like a 2.4 star on Yelp and stuff, and it's crazy out there as far as when you figure out restaurant industry, like they control your traffic. Learn from your mindset of how this whole like how this company works.
How old were you at that time?
This was, I think, was 18.
Okay.
Yeah, 17 or 18. Yeah. The lawsuits are crazy. That's when you know you're doing something right. But oh my god, the lawsuits are insane, like for things that you would never even think of. And there's like new laws coming out every day. If you're not up to par with those laws, you're getting sued the next day. That previous tenant had illegally chopped a tree down and built that patio during COVID. So I took this place over. Guess who's to blame? The new tenant. I'm like, dude, this was already here. What do you want me to do? So next thing you know, within literally the next month, I'm in City of Santa Monica. It literally says City of Santa Monica versus Muhammad Azeem Farooq. I'm like, wow, this is...
Hello everyone, we're back at the C-STE Corner today with a really special guest, a CSUN alumni. With us, the owner of Urban Skillet.
Yes.
Azeem Farooq. Welcome here.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. We're really excited to talk to you. We've done some of the research, but we wanted to find out your beginnings, how you started.
Yes.
This entrepreneurship business, or all the businesses that you have. So tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, so my name is Azeem Farooq. I have multiple businesses. I started off in the software industry. I was going here for CSUN for computer science, then ventured off to the food industry, which is where it became Urban Skillet came in the picture, and now I started this water brand as well called Z2O. And so yeah, I mean, pretty much I've been in the industry. I want to say most of my entire life, because my grandparents were involved in the textile industry in Pakistan. I was born there, and then from there I came here when I was like, I want to say 11 or 12. Then from that end I started. My dad he was working a 9-to-5 job. From there he put money into a business, a Ben & Jerry's. An ice cream shop. We still have till this day, probably like 25 years. And
franchise?
Yeah, franchise. So he owned just one store, and so we invested in that end. So that was our first venture into the business world in the U.S. So he started doing that. We started going to school, and I got heavily involved in sports. Now this is where it kind of shaped up the whole mindset of competition-wise, because in sports it's more like you have to go in there with a different set of mindset. You can't just go in there like, let's just try it out, everything out. So that's pretty much where the competition kind of brain set came into play.
Which sports did you play?
I played tennis, cross country, track and field, and now currently I'm doing bobsled.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm also a skeleton athlete. Yeah, so that's been crazy, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's a crazy jump. I'm out there pushing sleds on the ice, and then I got my whole body on the ice as well. So bobsled is pretty much you're pushing a sled with like either 2-man, 4-man, and then skeleton is pretty much you the sled in the ice. So you're literally like, you're going.
That must be fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It hurts too a lot.
It hurts.
Yeah, it hurts a lot. You tear up your whole arm and stuff. You gotta know there's a lot more that goes into it, right? So most people don't know that, but the sport itself is growing. People love it. It's something that I love the athletes there. They're so nice. Everyone's there to kind of help you out and kind of learn the sport too.
Like a community.
A community, yeah. It's beautiful, yeah.
But you were telling us that was where your
competitiveness came from. Yes. And then so from there I started my software business, and then this was pretty much, we started doing small contracts for like web development stuff, then kind of got bigger contracts for app development, then we went into pretty much governmental contracts, and then got some money from there. We went to the rehab centers. We created some custom software for them, and till this day we're still doing that portion of things. And we got a little bit of money, then made it into a restaurant called Urban Skillet. Now, Urban Skillet was already there. It was owned by 3 guys. So this was something where it was a concept where it was like, I went there to expand my dad's business to see if we can open up another Ben & Jerry's across the street or something. And we went there, and it was more of like, it's kind of being built out. We don't know if this is gonna do well. And these guys at the time were killing the game. Like the Urban Skillet name was very well known, I think, in the Muslim community, in the North Hollywood community in general. And I was like, dude, this is a nice place. The way they had the ambiance, right? I went home. I was still going to school during that time, and so I'm going to school. I would stay at the Aldra Apartments, then bike to CSUN. So on the way back, this was like maybe like 10 p.m. at night, where someone put it on a Snapchat. It was a Snapchat thing where it's like, hey, Urban Skillet's for sale. Let me know if you want it. It was just a story from somebody. At that point, I literally went into a corner, called the guy that posted on Snapchat. I haven't talked to him maybe for like a couple of weeks, right? And I called him, hey, can you give him the number for this Urban Skillet people? I want in. And they were like, what are you talking about? And then they were like, can you just send me the number? If it's 10 p.m., he sent me the number. I called the guy. We have a meeting the next day. Go see the place out. Like, with no questions asked, no experience in the restaurant industry, I was like, I want this place. Closed the deal within maybe, I want to say, 1 to 2 weeks, and yeah, I went in the kitchen and almost put the whole place on fire, because I turned the fryer on with no oil inside sometimes. I mean, not sometimes, like that was my first time doing it, and that went into flames, and I was like, this is not the best venture right now. Oh my God, what is this? I don't know what to do with it. And I was like, oh man, this is not a good idea. So you sell a business because it's failing, right? And so this was something where it's like, we got it, opened it up, and made it into like a burger joint. They had bulgogi style cheesesteaks and all this stuff. And they opened up the place, and it was, I was like, why don't we incorporate burgers into it? So we made a full-on burger joint from that location. Then it was doing really bad the first year. It wasn't enough, people coming in. It was just obviously to get. We were at like a 2.4 star on Yelp and stuff, and it's crazy out there as far as when you figure out restaurant industry, like they control your traffic during that time, and so it was very hard to come back from it, right? And so it was consistent, like me going there 10 a.m. to like 12 a.m. shifts, like. I had to figure some sort of system out. What I figured out was customers aren't going to come to your restaurant if they don't even know you're there. And if you're the one working, you're the marketer. If you can't market your restaurant, you're working all the time, how are they going to know your name? So they wouldn't. Yeah. And so that took me probably 2-3 years to figure out. And so I ventured off, and I pretty much what I did was I forgot that because during that time I still had my software business, which is why I was still staying afloat. Whatever bills were coming my way, I was able to pay it off, right? So that whole things were still in play. And then what happened was I incorporated on the website. There was a bunch of I pretty much had my software team work on the website for Urban Skillet. And during that time, Halal Guys was coming up too, and Halal Guys was doing amazing stuff. So I was like, why can't we use the same SEO, same keywords, same dynamics they're doing, piggyback off of what they've already known, and then incorporate that into Urban, use the same influencers, use the same people, and branch off that. And that's when I realized that sometimes in business, you have to, when you go into something, you have to figure out who's the best at it, figure out who's the best in the game, figure out where they're lacking, and then from that end, add that to your own business and then surpass them. That was the one thing I learned. It took me a long time to learn it. If someone just told me that portion of things, because the blueprint's already there for you. Yeah. There's nothing that hasn't been. You're not over here trying to develop a new molecular formula. It's like this is already there. Use it to your advantage and add things on where it will have customers come to you, and that's all we did. And so at Branch Talk, we brought in influencers. We brought in, we did a lot of web development stuff in the back end, and then we started doing partnerships. We did a lot of office partnerships, apartment partnerships. That was it. Bring on other people with the view count, with the eye traffic, put them on your restaurant, make partnerships where they benefit, you benefit, and you surpass everybody from there. And that's what happened.
You do fundraisers too.
Yeah, fundraisers.
Yeah, I had a fundraiser there. For the CSUN FOSA, the Filipino club.
Okay.
We had a fundraiser there, like, I think last semester.
Okay.
And it was really good. I really liked it.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, we do a lot of fundraisers. We give back to the community a lot too. This is what made us. It was like the mindset that I learned in CSUN alone was more like, they teach you should benefit off of every single person you meet, right? Every single person is on their own path. Take them and see how you can benefit off them later on, together obviously, and figure out how you can make things happen. Right now there's nothing, everyone's learning, right? And when you're in college, everyone's learning their own stuff, but whatever major they're in, use that to your advantage for when you have a business. And that it worked. And like my license, like the franchisees I have, all the people that are coming in, they all have a background from CSUN too, and it's cool where it's like they're using their knowledge, their atmosphere, incorporating it into their own urban skillet, and going like my franchisee that has the Northridge location. He's from a mechanical engineer background, but he's using what he's learned in ME for the same how to manage inventory at urban. Does it make sense? Incorporating those ideas to your business is insane. Yeah.
It transfers.
Yes.
It's also in the restaurant business, competition isn't necessarily like super bad because you can take from other places, like what you took from halal guys.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah. Well, that's an amazing story.
Yeah. Thank you.
What was your major?
Computer science.
Okay.
Yeah, computer science.
Right, so in your case,
yes.
How did you apply computer science to the urban skillet?
I pretty much used, so for I guess developing a system where I used I have a separate company too called C-STE now. So I had so managing these restaurants, it's now managed through different assistants, right? And these assistants, what we do is that we do since I was a QA engineer for Bioness. We were for a biotech company, and we were doing that for a very long time. We used a software called Jira. And Jira was pretty much a bug detector. It was a software detector where pretty much if you would test certain hardware out, certain software, and whatever bugs there were, you would put it onto this platform, and they would pretty much say if it's being worked on, if it's not being worked on, if it's done, all that stuff. And so I used that software and applied it to Urban. And I was like, why not use Jira in order to stay up to par of what's happening with the Urban Skillet as far as a whole goes? What's happening with inventory? What's happening with the updates? How are we increasing our demographics? What's going on with our marketing? Like, how are we improving daily, not just like we're stagnant, right? And the only way to see it, know that you're improving, is to see that you're improving. And that's the platform we used, is Jira. And pretty much I applied the software mentality into whatever I've learned and applied it to Urban, and that's how it's taking off so fast, because it's easy. Because when you have a software and it has a bunch of issues with it, you have to you won't get anywhere without if I just tell you, oh, it's being worked on. You can't see it. And then there's other people in line, the dev team, the QA team, and the input team. It's like they all need to know what's going on with the project, right? And the only way to do it is if you see it. And a lot of restaurants, what they did is that they just say a lot of things where I'll go to the inventory, or they write on a piece of paper or whatever it may be, and that's how they do everything. And there's no actual things happening. They're just stagnant. Which is why it looks like customers are coming in and they go on off the numbers of sales they did that day, but not what they could do in the next week or two, because they have nothing scheduled. There's no review of it. What was this review? What was being done this week? How have we improved from where we were to now? It makes sense. And as long as you're improving consistently, because the world's changing. And that's when COVID, what happened was, a lot of restaurants, they closed down, and I'm so sorry about that, right? But the thing is, they didn't adapt to what was happening, right? A lot of these restaurants didn't adapt to wireless tapping or NFCs, going and just using Bluetooth to order online. They didn't have these things set up, which is why some of the restaurants closed. And on top of that, you have to the reason you change on a daily basis is so you stay up to par with what's happening now, right? And how you can get those demographics into your restaurant as well. So that's pretty much what's going on.
What do you think the hardest part of your journey was?
Hardest part was probably scaling it out, getting the legal aspects of things done. It's
Never done this before.
Yeah, it was like trying to make sure you have all because the lawsuits are crazy. That's when you're doing something right. But oh my god, lawsuits are insane. For things that you would never even think of. And there's new laws coming out every day. If you're not up to par with those laws, you're getting sued the next day. And it's insane how people how even just in this state, it's just very easy to sue people. As far as even it's how do you say, if you haven't even done anything wrong, let's say you were even innocent, right? So let me break it down. So it's like, let's say you have a business. You can't go into the courthouse and be like, oh, I have this business, let me represent myself. No. It's more of the fact where you need a business attorney to represent that business, and then you're able to say you're innocent. And that attorney requires a $10K retainer fee in order to represent you, and then you pay the retainer fee for him to say you're innocent, and then at the end of the day there might be a settlement amount, or maybe you are innocent but you're still lost, and then on top of that retainer fee is just things they've worked on, right? If like it's like money they'll hold on to based on the work they've done, they'll always charge you more than the retainer fee, right? And so you end up paying more, so you would just pay the settlement and just be done with it rather than paying a lawyer. And it's like if you're not doing business, you're just holding on to a bunch of lawsuits at that point. Yeah, so it's like,
I didn't even know it was that complicated.
oh yeah. So be ready. Be ready at any point. Yeah, at any point you can. That again, it doesn't have to be a valid reason. It could be any reason. It could be like you were staying down wrong and they can sue you for it. But it's a stupid reason. But you have to show up to court in order to make sure you reply to that court the court order, or else you have to pay the amount that they're asking. And it's completely like, that's what kind of like frustrates me as a business owner, where it's like you're trying to do things correct by the book, but people are trying to take you down. You have to be able to just take those shots, be like whatever, and just figure things out. And that's what makes or breaks a business. That's literally it.
In customer service,
yes,
in an industry with so much customer service, I'm guessing you guys are more liable to have more.
100%, but the lawsuits aren't even from customers half the time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like stupid stuff where it's like it's from ADA compliancy, or it's from it's either employments, or it's lawsuits from, let's say, just the property management itself. There's a bunch of things that can happen, but so far our customers, there's been no lawsuits from customers. Okay. Yeah, there's been just dumb stuff. Our most recent one was like one of my location in Santa Monica. There was a patio that was there, and that patio was built from a previous tenant. That previous tenant had illegally chopped a tree down and built that patio during COVID. So I took this place over. Guess who's to blame? The new tenant. I'm like, dude, this was already here. What do you want me to do? So next thing you know, within literally the next month, I'm in City of Santa Monica. It literally says City of Santa Monica versus Muhammad Azeem Farooq. I'm like, wow, I took a picture too. I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, you gotta have fun with it. I was like, it's Santa Monica, like amazing. Yeah, it's like, I think the attorney was there. Then we had like the business officer there. Then we had the jury. It was crazy. I'm like, for a patio, like, what's even happening here? Do you have that much time? Like, dang. And so I had a fun experience with it, and we went back and forth, we solved the case, whatever it was. I ended up paying, I think it was like $60K to settle the whole amount, something that wasn't even, but what they did was they got the patio and they put the lump sum of months, so they started charging for the space you're taking outside, and so they charged the amount of time that patio was there from the previous tenant to my tenant, to my occupancy, and just gave me, and added penalties to it, and then gave me a bill. And so that was like,
so they let it.
Yeah, for other people that this would have been like, oh my god, you guys are crazy. What's even? I can't, like, anxiety. But you have to have fun with it. Yeah. The whole point of business is have fun with the game. You can't have fear. You can't just go into it with fear. Once you start getting fear, that's when you start losing. You have to just go into it like, I'm gonna have fun. Let's see what happens. The worst that can happen, I become homeless. Amazing, crazy. What do you want me to do? And even that, you can still, once you're at the very bottom, you still climb back up again. Like, it's simple, but you have to be ready for it. You can't have fear of like, what if I fail? Because that portion is like, what if I fail and if I make it, which is now, but if I stopped back then, the first year was, I'm talking about, we're probably doing like $100 a day, if anything. And you're talking about like maybe $5 to $6K rent you have to pay. You have to pay employees consistently, make sure their livelihood is taken care of. If the cooks aren't coming up, so it's like a lot of things that go into play. You can't just go into it with fear. You just have to make it work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now your journey from the start, from your software company.
Yeah.
I guess you're an entrepreneur in two fronts.
Yeah.
You took over a company.
Yes.
Which is Urban Skillet. But how was your software? How how did that happen?
So
how was that business?
So how it happened was I was in Bioness. That was my first, I guess, real company I was in. I did internships multiple places. So Tilt, Medtronics, and then I went to Bioness. Bioness internship happened, and then from Bioness they hired me full time for another year or two. And then we were working with the.
Bioness, I'm sorry,
it's a therapeutic. It's a biotech company. So it's what they focus on are stimulants for people.
Okay.
So it's pretty much like if you have a strokes and you can't move some part of your body, there's stimulants that go on top of your to make you kind of like to help you extend. So if you have a stroke, you're kind of, I guess it's your hand or something becomes dorsiflex. It causes electricity. I think you're a kinesiologist. You know this. It causes pulses to go through your body. I just developed a thing. I don't know what it was. So I worked on a thing called we worked on something called BITS, Bioness Integrated Therapy System. This was a big 60-inch screen, and people that couldn't really were immobile would pretty much follow certain exercises in that screen to touch it and kind of regain strength, mobility, all that stuff. So that's what I was working on. Then what happened was I figured this out really early in the journey too, where you just have to ask people and you can create your own path. I would just go ask the head developer, hey, I have this idea, what do you think? Or I would just go, literally the vice president was sitting in the office, I would just go up to him, talk to him like a normal guy, and be like, hey, is it possible to have a meeting with you and just kind of learn from your mindset of how this whole how this company works.
How old were you at that time?
This was, I think, was 18.
Okay.
Yeah, 17 or 18, yeah. And so I got that, and then I went to my head developer, and my head engineer. I remember this very carefully. I had an idea. The idea was, I call it Vector VR. We were working on a system called Vector, which was pretty much it would be installed on the ceiling. It would take your body weight. You would strap them on. I think you know this too. Yeah. Have you seen those systems? Where you strap the patient on, and then it takes your body weight, and they do exercises with it.
I think so. I think I've seen a.
It's rehab. It's like a rehab thing. Rehab, yes. And so that's what Bioness also made as well. And so I was like, dude, why don't we put the two and two together? And during that period, virtual reality was a huge thing. So VR was coming out with a bunch of crazy stuff. I think HTC was coming out with their own goggles and stuff. I was like, why don't we have these people? Because that whole thing took a lot of space. Like, you're talking about the whole room was filled with that, and that one physical therapist had to concentrate on the one person. Yeah. And so my idea was to incorporate where we take that 60-inch screen, eliminate that, put it into a VR setting, and then use this so that they don't fall. So it was called Vector VR, and I was like, this was crazy. And so I went to my head engineer. I told him, hey, can we have a meeting? No one knew what this meeting, because how it would work is that if there was meetings involved, we'd put it on the calendar, and everybody would just show up to the meeting. Yeah. And so I just told him to book a meeting for an idea that I had. He was like, an idea? What's the idea? I'm like, this is the idea, all that stuff. And he kind of denied me. He was like, we can't just book a meeting, And I was like, oh, Michael, my head told me to book the meeting. He's like, oh, okay. So they all booked the meeting, and I was pretty much like, the meeting wasn't supposed to happen. It was more like, why not? So we had the meeting. Everybody showed up, and nobody knew what the meeting was for. I was like, guys. And I presented them with the idea without asking anybody. I could have been fired. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, so I went through the idea, all that stuff, and they were intrigued by the whole concept. And it was pretty much the fact where you would use virtual reality, and you would put people into positions where they'd be forced to trigger certain synaptics in your nerves to cause pulses for you to be able to move. So if you're strapped on, right, and let's say you're walking on a bridge and you can't move your legs, but you're in a scenario where you're crossing the bridge, and if you lose balance, your mind forces you to kind of like move something, right? And so the whole idea was to create exercises like that in the VR setting, and so but you're strapped on, so it might cause you to start moving again. And they were like, oh, this is something that hasn't been done. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, so this is pretty much the idea of it. And then they came back to me with saying that, oh, we don't have the budget for the VRs, the headset. It's not there. It's not at that level. I'm like, we can at least work on the app. And obviously there were a bunch of grown men that had their own egos, their own stuff, and they didn't want to go, farther with it. And the budget, it would have cost a lot more. And that's where I started my whole software journey. And so I started making the game myself. And then that kind of led to me partnering up with a bearing company because they saw my work. And I never launched the company in general because the whole initial point was it to go partner with the Bioness, the actual vector itself. They owned the patent, they had everything. So there was no point in me even developing the whole thing for it, right? And so that's where the whole software I was like, forget this. I'm just gonna start my own software company and figure out what happens. And that's where Society was kind of born into it. And then it started off with different contracts, started off with different I guess integrations with websites and all that stuff. And that's where the company flourished.
Oh. Now what about this company over here? You said this was you?
Yeah, this is my newest company. It's called Z2O. This is pretty much like people. They're just making their own drinks, bro. I was like, I saw Prime. I was like, Logan Paul's out here making their own drinks. Like, everyone's just making their own stuff. Like, why can't I just make my own drinks? Like, and so this concept came in literally. We're working on it for a couple months, and the main difference with this water is it has the electrolyte, it has the pH level. It's infused with water from Saudi. So I don't know if you guys know what Zamzam water is, but Zamzam water is like a well in Saudi that has never stopped producing water. And so it's known for the Muslim community. It's known for like as a holy water kind of stuff, but for in general, it's known of just like water that's the purest water on earth. And you can Google this too, Zamzam water. And so it's the first of its kind that's been ever infused with Zamzam. Yeah, and that's another thing. You kind of grab your niche, and then you bank off of that niche. People buy it, and then everyone else sees why you're buying it, and then it goes from there. Same thing with urban. With urban, what we started doing is halal, right? Halal concept is you're not. So Muslims can only eat halal. And halal only means it's pretty much the meat itself. It's carefully catered to. It's fed the right stuff, and it's also I guess put down in an ethical way. Nothing with like needles being put in or whatever it may be. It's like hand slaughtered. And so that was something we took. And then also you can also with halal, there's 20% of the market you're missing. So Muslims can't eat not halal meat, right? And so what happened was, since we have the halal concept, now everybody can eat. It doesn't matter what religion you are, you're able to eat this. And so when you do the halal, so you market the niche. So Muslims come in with families, they have large families. People are like, oh snap, this is pop-in restaurant. Others see it too. They're like, why not we try it? They love it, and then that's how it kind of like flourished as well. So you have to find a niche of where you can target what brings the first customer through that doorstep, and then once you have that going, everyone just follows.
Did you implement that into Urban Skillet?
Yes.
Or was that before?
That was done before too.
Oh,
yes, that was already there, but I implemented it harder, I guess, in a way, and I made everything halal. I made sure that everything it was already It was already halal. It was already known in the community, but the fact was it wasn't known as it was kind of degrading, right? It didn't use that I guess that hype to have other people come in and try it as well. It was more like just kind of stayed in their own stuff. That's pretty much it. But yeah.
You do a lot. Bob Setter, restaurant owner.
Oh, you have to stay active every single day. You can't just pause. Once you pause, that's the worst. Like how would you like just living the same exact life every single day? It gets annoying. You can't. You have to challenge your mind. Like you have to do things where you can't think if you think you can't do it, do that. Because that's the only way you can figure out, you can surpass your own limits. Because you don't know what your limits are. No one knows what their limits are. They think they know, and then they put and then the society creates like this bubble of like, you can't do it, and it's like, bro, like just do it. Like who cares what the society says? You're too old, you're too young, you're too this. Like people put limits on kids. Oh, he's too young to like I don't know, like drive. My 4-year-old started driving when he was like in the go-karts and stuff. I put him in like a whole thing. I was like, come on, bro, this is insane. So this whole situation, you have to understand, it doesn't what is it? You can't. You have to stay consistent and also aggressive at the same time. You have to have crazy goals to the max. And that's pretty much it.
So with all these businesses, how do you balance your focus on all of them?
Okay, so you have to have other people on your team, and you have to make a system where they're able to duplicate certain things and put into play for you. you can't handle everything. There's no way. So as I'm talking to you, there's somebody working on Z2O. As I'm talking to you, there's someone expanding on Urban Skillet. As I'm talking, I'm not the one. If you take on everything, you won't be able to get anywhere because you're going to short circuit. You will burn out tomorrow. You can't keep going on and on and on. And you have to even let's say this video, you're recording this, but at a certain point you will get once you start getting a lot more people on board, the editing part will get hectic where you have to kind of explain your vision and pass it off to somebody else. So while you're doing this, someone you interviewed the day before, their video is getting edited and produced and ready to go, right? So that's how you increase. You can't just take things into you get ideas, you figure out how you can duplicate it and make that, you teach that to somebody else and go from there.
Scale it. And that's talks about how you scale your companies as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have, how many franchises do you have right now for Urban Skillet?
14.
14.
Yes.
You started with
1.
Yeah. How was that growth? When did you know you needed another restaurant? And
So people came to us. I didn't have any plans of expanding this much this fast. It's more of the fact where we had this, people liked the food, then they came to me, they asked if I'm franchising, I'm like, yeah, sure. And then we opened up our second one in Minnesota, then from Minnesota, right there and then, it was funny because I was buying my first house during that time, and it was a whole thing of, okay, so when you get a restaurant, you have to get approved by the landlord and all that stuff, so you have to show certain finances and all these things, right? So when you're buying a house, you'll hear from the real estate agent that you do not get into any loans, do not get any credit checks, nothing, because they will run it back again, right? So I put a risk. So what I did was I was buying the house and I got approved for a lease for Santa Monica location the same month, and that lease was $15K a month. And it was snap, am I doing this? So I got the house and Urban, literally got the house, I was like, whatever, went to Urban the next day and literally started within a week because we had rent to pay. I was like, we were expanding. And so Minnesota opened, got a house, went to Santa Monica Urban, then gone to the lawsuit stuff with the patios. And then people saw us expanding, people are like, oh, you guys are expanding. You use that leverage for other people to look at, oh, he's moving fast. Then somebody else, then we opened up Northridge, then from Northridge we had Riverside, and then we just went from there. Yeah.
How long did it take, that journey from one to?
It could have been. It took I think 7 or 8 years, but it should have been shorter if I knew what system to follow. That the system was easy. It was my fault. It was the first 3 years of just figuring a system out that I wasn't. No one told me how this stuff works, right? And so I didn't go to a mentor and stuff like that, which I should have. I should have just gone to a restaurant that has multiple chains. Like, dude, I have this restaurant. How can I scale it? He would just told me in a normal conversation, and we just done that. But we're so just asking. It's we're fearful of it because we're always on our phones. The talking thing is gone. There's no one wants to ask anymore. Just ask, dude. You don't know who that person is. You don't know what they're feeling. It's just a human being. It's not who gives a crap who they are. Just ask them the question.
So true.
The blueprint is right. Whatever you want to do in life, go ask that person and they'll give you shortcuts. If you want to be an actor, you go to a acting facility, you go talk to the person and be like, hey, look, dude, I want to be an actor. What do you recommend? And then they'll like you so much, the fact you've developed a relationship with them, they'll hook you up with their contacts from overnight, and then they'll tell you exactly what shortcuts to go through, so you don't have to deal with any pain during the whole journey, and you're good to go. But we're just afraid. For some reason, a lot of people are just afraid of just asking. Even the water company, people are like, you want to start a water company? How are you gonna do that? I was like, just start it, and we ask the questions after we start it. But if you don't start, nothing's gonna happen. Yeah.
Wow.
You have a pretty good grasp on everything. I like how balanced, even though you're juggling so much and you have such a positive outlook despite everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like you give really good advice. So what is a tip you would give to CSUN students who are wanting to be future entrepreneurs?
You have to find I think first things first, you have to get fit. I think that's the one thing you have to understand. You have to be in order to be just a mogul in business, you have to just be fit and be satisfied with yourself. Get fit, get in the mindset, whatever way it is. And to do that is make to get yourself into not the gym, but into a circle of people that have the same mindset as you. And once that whole domino effect happens, once you start going, those classes, once they start acting, those accountability, it becomes accountability. Hey, why didn't you show up today? Why didn't you do this? If you, regardless of getting a gym, like opposed to getting a gym membership and maybe going this day, maybe going that day, at least you create some sort of consistency with some sort of classes. Once you have consistency there, you drop out, then you get the gym membership. Once the gym membership is available, then you get into the whole mindset of competitiveness, because when you're in the gym, you're just competitive. Whatever you're lifting heavy, whatever your goal is, you're competitive with the person next to you, right?
Yeah.
So whether you're an athlete or not, that's the first thing. And then once that's developed, you can go into business in a way where that fear is gone of like, I can make this happen. I'm good to go. Because when you're proud of what you've accomplished with just whether it's with school, with gym, with fitness, whatever it may be, you're able to accomplish other things a lot faster, and you see the domino effect of it as well. And so so get that done, and then what you have to do is find something with instant gratification. So meaning you have to find something that gives you money right away. Okay, so a lot of people, entrepreneurs, what they do is they get into investing too much. They're like, oh, I'm gonna put money into stocks. I'm gonna put money into real estate. If you look into it, if you buy a house and put money into real estate, that house will appreciate, yes, but you're only gonna get a couple $100 back if you rent that place out. It's not like some amazing million. You have to have like multiple real estate. Yeah, so why would you waste it right now? Don't think about long-term investments right now. Oh, put into SP500, put into this, all this stuff. No, find one instant gratification that produces you money right away. Use that money to leverage you, because that's your base. Once you have a base income, whether it's your job or whether it's a business you started up, once you have that, then you start taking other risks of your investment. This, like whatever business you want to do, that's how you do it. Your instant gratification is either your job or a business idea. And then once you have that, a grasp of that, you can leverage and use your time into hiring other, like create an idea, create a system, leverage somebody else to work on it, and go from there. There's a bunch of different platforms. There's Upwork, there's Fiverr, there's like people on Facebook Market that wants to work. There's a bunch of ways you can go on it, right? But LinkedIn is becoming big right now. So you use that, and whatever idea you have, it'll work. It literally works. That's literally all you have to do is create a base, instant gratification. You have money that can pay your bills, and then work in everything else you want to work on. Whatever dream you have, whatever you want to invest in it and just start it. Because while you're doing this, that stuff's getting done. And once you're done with this, and once that starts producing your base income, then you quit this and you go all in. And then you can go from that end and start investing in other places too. That's it. Most people, they don't understand you need a base income. Yeah. You need some sort of base. You can't just dive right into entrepreneurship. I'm not gonna be here, oh, you gotta go work hard, forget the 9 to 5. No. If 9 to 5 is your base income, use that and leverage your way out of it. If your business idea is something that's giving you income right away, then go with that business and then leverage it and then expand it from there. That's it. It's that easy. Wow. There's no formula to it. But most people, what happens is when they have a 9 to 5 or when they have a job idea, they get a certain amount and then they're like, oh, I've won. Let me spend it on this. And let me spend it on this. Let me go out with my friends. I deserve a break. I deserve this. You start becoming stagnant. You start stopping. And once you stop, that's where it gets scary, because now you're like comfortable, right? You start spending on things because what happens is once you start getting more, you want more. Your life gets more luxurious, and then that luxury life costs more for you to handle. So now in your head, you're like, I can't start something new. Why? Because you expanded your life, your lifestyle. And people get into that whole portion of things of like, money comes in, they use that instant gratification comes in, and then you start spending it other places that you don't need to kind of show off that you're making this much.
Yeah. Now we've talked about the achievements that you've had with your businesses. What setbacks have you had that have taught you things?
Setbacks.
If you have had any setbacks.
I was bullied in high school. In elementary school, high school, I was bullied. There was people that when I was taking classes, the people that said pretty much I wouldn't be able to pass my AP courses. There was a lot of negative feedback in every single thing I would go into. It was never like, you can do it. And it was like the fact that you can't take other persons, the people that are saying you can't do it are so upset with their own life that they've set boundaries to your life now. Like, you can't surpass those goals, right? And it's like, who are they? It's just every single person is their own person. They have their own goals, their own aspirations, their own stuff they're dealing with. Don't ever think because somebody said something, that's gonna be the opinion you're gonna go with. right? Even if you're in soccer and Ronaldo himself comes to me and I'm like, yo, you're not good, and he's like, you're not good at soccer, right? Which you would never, because high quality people don't put other people down, right? If people, they lift them up. So if that person's putting you down in any way, it's because they're already down. They're already, so in like, just tell them in, whatever, if they say anything negative feedback, give them positive feedback, make their day. Like, dude, just relax. Just don't worry about me. Just worry about you. That's it. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Just worry about yourself. I'm so sorry that you had to do something. Like, you had to say something to me, but like, just relax. Yeah, so that's like it.
Learning how to deal with rejection.
Yes.
With
Don't take everything in a negative way. Like I said, when we get sued or when something happens, don't take it into a negative way. Just go. Just go with the flow. Dude, we all know one thing is that we're all gonna leave this planet at a certain point. So why would you care about what anyone has to say? And why would there be any circumstances, anything that you would put your limits to? There should be nothing. There should be, the whole time in your mind, you should be like, I can make anything I want happen. I don't care who it is. And also, don't ever idolize people. Yes, use what they've accomplished to your advantage, but never. I don't know if you guys are into concerts or whatever. I never would go to a concert and scream someone else's name, like, oh my god, Jay-Z, or like, you know what I mean, or go like, you know what I mean. I would be like, damn, that guy is doing something right. I want to see what he's done so far, what he's investing in, learn from that person to either be with the table or outwork him. That's the mindset you should have. You should never, yes, admire that person from afar, but don't be there idolizing someone. Don't ever like scream their name and be like, oh snap, because then that puts limits in your head that I can never get to that point. Does it make sense? Yes, clap for the accomplishments, but don't be there like, like a fan. I don't know. Yeah, don't be a fan of somebody. Be a fan. Yeah, you're over there screaming their name, but you can't do that for yourself. Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, dude, you should be out there killing the game yourself. Like, yes, you're doing amazing. I'm gonna see you one day, and that's it. Simple. Like, you have to have that mindset for yourself. And people put themselves down. Yeah. They put limitations on themselves, and it's like, dude, you can make it happen. When people say, if I can do it, you can do it, literally that you can make anything happen. You have to have just the mindset to do it. Mm-hmm. Like people are making it happen with like no limbs. If you have consistent, all your sensories are intact and you're good to go, dude, you should have no excuse. There should be no excuse. Nothing.
No excuses.
No excuses. You should be just killing the game on a daily basis.
Yeah. All right. Well, I could talk to you for hours. Yeah. Unfortunately,
you're good. No worries.
We're out of time. Where can people find your journey? Where can people?
You can go on Instagram, Farooq and Azeem, and then it was funny because that was my nickname in high school. It would be effing beast. So it was Farooq and Beast. So my last one was Farooqin. It was the same kind of like, hey, what the Farooq? Or like, what are you Farooqin doing? So it'd be Farooq. So now it's Farooq and Azeem. And then that's pretty much it. And then you can follow my journey there. And then Urban Skillet is also expanding. And yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. Please stay tuned, like, follow, subscribe, all of our social media. Also, announcement. This is the last podcast Gia is gonna be part of. So shout out to Gia. Gia, where can people find you?
My Instagram is gia.22, GIA.22, and it has been an honor working for the center. So make sure you guys give lots of love to the new host. Thank you, Jacobo, for being such a great co-host throughout the years, and everyone I've gotten to talk with and worked with. It's been a great ride, so I can't wait to see what's in store for this podcast.
Thanks, everybody, again, and we'll see you on the next edition.
Bye!